Welcome back, everybody. Merry Christmas. I hope you had a great holiday. Um, Sorry I haven't had a video out in I think a week and a half, something like that. I've just been so busy with the holidays and everything, but everything is pretty much coming to a close now for the year. Uh, and so I figured I'd do a quick video about just the purchases I've had in the past month, month and a half, somewhere around there. Um, Mainly stuff I've gotten in December. So there's records and CDs, so it's a little bit of both. So I figured I'd just show some of the stuff off before the pile got too big and this video would be an hour long. So I guess we'll start off with one of my favorite finds I had this month. I honestly never thought I'd find it. I actually had to order the CD online because I've never been able to see it. So I got the CD, but while I was waiting for the CD to come in, I found the record at a record store over in Indiana when I was visiting over there. So this is probably my favorite find of the year, honestly. This is Tank's Filth Hounds of Hades, one of my all-time favorite um, new wave of British heavy metal bands, and one of my favorite records of all time, honestly. This album is so classic to me. I've just never been able to find it, and it's just so great that I finally found it. And for not a bad price either. I don't remember exactly what I paid, but I know it wasn't as much as I thought it was worth. And it was also cool because this is, I believe, um this is the German, I believe, cover for the album, because the CD, which I have right here, this is, I believe, just the normal cover for it that it was released with, but I believe in Germany it was released with the black cover with the classic Tank logo on it, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this album was produced by Eddie Clark from Motorhead, and the Motorhead influence has always been undeniable with Tank. Um, Although their later albums got a little bit more melodic than what their first one, or Power of the Hunter, had on them. So if you're looking for nice, evenly balanced punk metal with metal and punk influences pretty much balancing out each other, this is an album you need to check out. Because if you haven't, you're nuts for not showing this album any love, especially if you're a Motorhead fan, because I could see just about any Motorhead fan loving this album. So yeah, that's Tank's Filth Hounds of Hades, which I'm so happy I finally have on CD and vinyl. Literally, I that could just make a video alone. That fine for me personally. Next up is gonna be another album I found at that same record store. It was called Orbit Music, by the way. If you're ever in South Bend, Indiana. It's a pretty cool little hole in the wall kind of music store. You can find some really cool stuff in there. There's still tons of stuff that I really want to get from there next time I'm out there. So check that place out. This is an album I found from there from Uriah Heep. This is Abominog. I always have trouble saying the name of this album. This is probably one of the most mainstream sounding Uriah Heep albums. It's definitely, I would categorize it as like heavy AOR. Um, it's very arena rock sounding, very accessible, and one of my favorites because I feel like even though the sound is definitely way different from how they sounded, especially in the mid '70s, early '70s, mid '70s, I think it's still a very solid record. Opening with "Too Scared to Run," just a barn burner of a song. And then you have tons of just really catchy songs on here. It's just a great album overall. So that's Abominog by Uriah Heep. Definitely check it out if you haven't. This next one, this isn't a band. This is actually a compilation. I have, I believe, Volume 2. This is Volume 4 of the US Metal um, compilations. I'm not exactly sure how many of these there were. I know I have the second one, which I believe was the one that had Manila Road on it, most famously before. I believe the Rods were on it too, as well as a couple other artists. This one has, it opens with a song from Keel. You have Scanner, another terrific band. Vicious Rumors, who are a great band and is still a great band live. Wild Dogs, and then side 2 opens with End of the Line from TKO, who I saw last year. Terrific band. You have Aggressor on here, Guilt, and the Frigo Firing Squad. Some very obscure acts definitely on here, but it's great because this highlights uh, some really great underrated underground US metal, and I still want to find the last couple ones that I'm missing from these compilations. These ones, along with like Metal Massacre and stuff like that, are basically just the epitome of classic early 80s heavy metal compilations, and a great way to find bands that you haven't heard of either. So yeah, that's the US Metal Volume 4 compilation. Check it out if you can ever find it, because like I said, you can. These are great ways to find great new bands, or not new bands per se, but bands new to you. So yeah, that's that one. And this is the last record I have to show off. This is Street Survivors. This is a compilation from Metal Blade I actually had not heard of. And it's basically a compilation of mostly the heavy glam bands of the 80s that Metal Blade, I guess, were kind of producing at the time, or it says they were anyway. But you have bands like, you have Bango Tango is probably the most well-known band off here, but you have Sphinx and Caro, Rain on Fire, Little Caesar, some really, really, again, obscure bands, but another cool compilation. These are more of like the other one, like history pieces in heavy metal music. They're just nice little templates of what was going on at the time, what the popular sound was, what people were preferring as of versus now. So yeah, that's Street Survivors. Look it up if you can ever find it. I had never seen it until a few weeks ago when I picked it up at that Orbit Music. I was like, huh, what is this? I was like, it looked like, I saw the name Bango Tango on the front of it, so I was like, it's got to be like some compilation. And there's a little description that Metal Blade gives on the back, and they basically say it's an idea to give people outside of Los Angeles. It's an idea to give people outside Los Angeles a glimpse of a music scene that continues to nurture and develop the stars of tomorrow. Fortunately, a lot of the bands on here I don't think really amounted to much, but great compilation either way to discover some more killer underground music. So yeah, that's that one. So then we just move on to a quick small stack of CDs. This I'm just gonna do a double for this one. I'm gonna show both these off. These are Blue Cheer's Highlights and Lowlives, and then you have Dining with Sharks. Now, anyone that's been watching my videos knows I'm a huge Blue Cheer fan. They know that I was a really big fan of The Beast is Back. I have it on CD and vinyl, but these two albums are Germany released only. This one came out after The Beast is Back a few years later, and then this one came out in 91, I believe. Yeah, 91. And this was the last album until What Doesn't Kill You in 2007, before Dickie Peterson died. And these two albums are pretty much pure 80s heavy metal. This one is definitely a little bit bluesier, although the song When Two Spirits Touch is really bluesy on Dining with the Sharks. So yeah, these two albums I highly recommend. Check them out. So I'm gonna end that. That's gonna be the first part of this video. The second part's gonna come very soon. I'll show off the rest of this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back very soon. You guys take care.